Today's highlights. Asteroid, a meme coin on Ethereum, surged 10,000 times in 3 days. Who's pumping it? 10,000 times in 3 days. That's almost presidential level influence. Is it a rug pull or a value meme coin? Why on Ethereum? A 15-year-old girl, a space toy, and a questionnaire for Elon Musk. So can you still buy this 10,000-fold token? Now it's a contest of who's more ruthless. Tuesday, April 21st. This is BTV Chinese Coin Chain. I'm Michael in Singapore. Every day, we broadcast in Vietnamese, Japanese, Korean, Thai, Spanish, and English with local anchors in their native tongues. Let's look at the top 24-hour crypto data. Bitcoin seems stagnant lately, but on-chain funds are flowing back to exchanges. Recently, about 106,000 Bitcoins were redeposited into Binance user addresses and about 130,000 into OKX. This is clearly above historical averages. Binance averages 44,000 annually. OKX averages 74,000. Note that these funds don't go straight to exchange main wallets, but to user deposit addresses first. This usually means some investors are preparing to sell off, rebalance their portfolios, or liquidate their assets. So, while the market looks sideways, underlying selling pressure is rising. If this continues, the chance of a Bitcoin drop will increase. Now for Ethereum, it's around $2,300, looking stable short term. But looking at the on-chain structure, it's turning bullish. Let's look at an index, the Binance ERC20 Whale Stability Coefficient. Accumulation addresses hold about 2.43 million ETH, more than the 2.41 million in stablecoin whale addresses. This shows at least some institutional money is shifting toward actually building Ethereum positions. Meanwhile, Binance retail deposit addresses hold 2.31 million ETH, lower than the two whale metrics. What does this mean? Addresses ready to transfer Ethereum to exchanges to sell are very limited. Overall, Ethereum's potential buying power outweighs selling pressure. The ratio is roughly 2-to-1. This is usually an early sign of tightening supply, showing Ethereum is entering an accumulation and momentum building phase. Today's big news is Apple's leadership change. To me, it's not just a new leader, it's a change in Apple's destiny. After 15 years, CEO Tim Cook is finally handing over the reins. This is Apple's first real power transition since 2011. Cook turned Apple into the world's most profitable business machine, but Apple already knew how to make money, right? Now the market wants to know if Apple can still create new products that get the whole world excited. So as you can see, the person taking over this time isn't from operations or finance, but a hardware veteran named John Ternus. So the signal Apple is sending is very clear. Moving forward, they don't just want to defend their business empire, they want to bet on Apple's future. And do you think Apple's strongest rival is Tesla or perhaps Elon Musk? All right, for today's news, the most ridiculous thing in crypto lately is this bear market, right? In the Chinese community, a token called RAVE crashed in a rug pull style. Everyone's talking about it, but what's truly unbelievable is that even in this bear market, there's a meme coin called Asteroid that somehow surged nearly 10,000 times in just 3 days. So this isn't just a typical pump, it's literally dragging all the attention and capital along with it. The craziest part isn't just the 10,000-fold price jump, but that everyone expected these meme coins to play out on the Solana battlefield, right? This time, this Asteroid coin happened to explode right on the Ethereum mainnet. So that really brings up a question. Will this meme coin season take place on Ethereum? Can ETH capture the gains from this meme coin surge?
On April 19th, Asteroid's market cap on the ETH chain hit $170 million. It's currently around 166 million, with a daily gain of over 900%. The price reached about $0.000457, nearly 10,000 times in 3 days. This isn't just a normal meme trend, it's a phenomenal emotional breakout. You just see a coin skyrocketing, but the market sees hype, traffic, and capital all slamming into the same direction at once.
All right, so who could drive a token to a 10,000-fold gain in 3 days? Musk, of course. First off, Musk's SpaceX is set to become the highest valued entity in US stock history. So many people are lined up with cash to invest. And Musk announced that his space Shiba Inu, also named Asteroid, is now the SpaceX mascot. So this namesake meme coin on Ethereum, Asteroid, just blew up. It's that simple.
Asteroid on the ETH chain hit a $170 million market cap, while the namesake coin on SOL also briefly hit several million, totaling over $180 million. More importantly, it's not just driving one coin, but changing the rhythm for the entire meme coin market.
Here's the big question. Think about it. If it were just a typical junk coin, sustaining hype for 3 days would require Trump-level influence. Most junk coins lose their narrative in 30 minutes or 2 hours, right? The truly wild thing about this asteroid coin is that there's actually a real space story behind it. A 15-year-old girl, a Shiba Inu plushie that flew into space, a list of questions for Musk, and even a personal response from Musk himself. It's these stories woven together that push this asteroid from a simple meme coin into a viral, sentiment-driven event.
Asteroid wasn't originally a coin, but a real Shiba Inu plushie that actually flew into space. Its designer was a girl born in 2010 named Liv Perotto. She's always loved space and dreamed of one day joining a SpaceX mission. In March 2021, she was found to have a large tumor in her neck, later diagnosed as a rare and very aggressive tumorous disease. Despite this, she never let go of her passion for space. Later, she took part in a SpaceX project design, turning a plush Shiba Inu into the mission's zero-gravity indicator. This Shiba Inu was later called ASTEROID.
My main idea for Asteroid is based on Elon's dog Floki. I've always loved Shibas. They've always been really cute. And then when I heard Elon got Floki, I was like, done. I love her.
Liv Perotto's story has a bit of a tragic color to it. This fan of Musk, born after 2010, her life was cut short at 15. That was in January of this year. So you see, this story is full of, well, I can't say east or west. It strikes the most sensitive nerve of humanity. A young girl fighting illness for years, an incurable disease with a dream of space, who even personally designed this zero-gravity mascot for SpaceX. And that's just the emotional side. This story is perfectly correct in any context, and the narrative tone is pushed to the max. But what really made this meme coin surge is that it actually completed a mission. In 2024, the space Shiba she designed truly entered space and floated around in a zero-gravity environment. So note that this detail is crucial, because it makes Asteroid more than just a nice story. It's something that actually happened with real footage, something that truly touches people's hearts. Because of this, it's very easy for the market to amplify it, for capital to amplify it, and for emotions to follow.
After Liv Perotto passed away from her illness, her mother continued to help fulfill her wish, hoping Musk would make Asteroid the SpaceX mascot. Then on April 19th, Musk actually replied with a single "okay." The market saw a real story, an emotional hook, and a celebrity response, and on-chain funds rushed in immediately.
All right, so how did Musk get involved? There's another person behind this named Glenn Beck. Who is he? He's a former host for CNN and Fox News. He later left to go solo. What did he do? He specialized in political commentary. Although his views are controversial and he has many labels, some say he's just a blowhard or a scammer. There are plenty of those too, but his talent is being a great storyteller, knowing exactly how to put a topic right in front of Musk's eyes so he sees it. On April 17th, he invited Liv's mother, Becca Perotto, onto his show. He went through how Liv pursued her space dream, how NASA Administrator Jared helped her, and that list of questions the girl had prepared for Musk, covering it all. Once the story heated up, you see, the emotion was there. The market smelled it immediately. You all know the rest of the story. And that's how we got this space dog that went up nearly 10,000 times in 3 days. If we say ASTR is hot on Ethereum and then claim Solana's meme coins are dead, that Solana's out of money and hype, is that a fair judgment? I think that's a bit too hasty, right? Right now, with ASTR, it's not about its 10,000-fold gain in 3 days, but whether it can bring the whole meme coin momentum over to Ethereum. But if the same name token is crashing on Solana while skyrocketing on Ethereum, isn't that interesting? Doesn't it suggest that money is starting to choose which table, which chain can better handle the market sentiment?
The most direct data for this shift is WOJK. Starting April 17th, WOJK on Sol dropped over 50%. But on the same day, WOK on ETH first rose about 44%. Then its market cap surged from $6 million to $45 million. Originally, WOK on Sol had about double the market cap of the ETH version. In just one day, it was overtaken. This comparison is clear. The market hasn't stopped trading memes. Rather, hot money is shifting from SOL to ETH. Capital flows to wherever the sentiment is being captured.
All right, why is this happening? On the surface, ASTER ignited Ethereum, but if you look deeper into the logic, it's not just about one coin exploding, but that the meme coin seen on the old Solana table has become incredibly competitive, more and more like PvP. What does that mean? It means your profit is someone else's loss. Everyone's in a zero-sum game. They're not chasing long-term narratives or community growth, but rather who can get cheap chips earlier and who can more quickly pull others in to be the exit liquidity. This kind of game will eventually run into trouble. Once most people feel like, oh, I'm just racing against bots, or I'm trying to outscience the scientists, or I'm battling against low-cost chips in a speed game, it's no longer a fair launch, but a contest of who can be more ruthless.
Many players in the English-speaking community are now questioning pump.fun. The core issue is that low-cost token issuance no longer means a fair launch. More and more people feel this has become a front-running game, a race to see who can get 5% or more of early chips faster and cheaper. Because this resentment is growing, some in the SOL ecosystem are using this sentiment to find new paths. For instance, the Bybit-backed printer launched what they call proof of conviction. There are also issuance experiments like Phase 2 and Phase 1 that are slower and emphasize early believers, attempting to challenge the old ways. Simply put, it's not that people stopped playing memes, but that the old methods have worn many people out.
So what we're really talking about today isn't that Ethereum suddenly became great or Solana suddenly failed, but that the meme coin market is entering a reshuffling phase. In the past, it was about who was cheaper, faster, or had an edge. Now, speed and low cost aren't enough. Everyone cares about which chain can sustain more hype, which mechanism has less backstabbing, and which table still has room for the story to continue. So Asteroid is just a flashpoint. It proves one thing at least, which is that meme coin money hasn't just vanished. It'll just continue its greatness in a different form. Plus, the money is migrating from the old casinos to the new ones. All right, that's the story so far. Now, with a token that's up over 10,000 times, do you think you can still buy it? Do you even dare? Market sentiment is still hot and prices have skyrocketed. So what we really need to watch next isn't who's shilling or calling for a bull market, but rather how many people are getting ready to sell, right? So the biggest problem for retail investors now is still using old logic to look at the new market. They always think if a token hits a major exchange, a big rally is bound to follow. But this game has long since flipped. That's ancient history, right? More and more new coins after listing on major exchanges aren't signaling a takeoff, but a signal to cash out. Because once liquidity opens up, those who held low-cost chips finally found their exit point. To put it more bluntly, listing on a major exchange now is the start of liquidation. This isn't the old valve for retail investors to get rich. It's a channel for early capital to exit gracefully.
Last year, 11,600,000 cryptocurrencies went to zero. That means 32,000 tokens die every single day. In 2025, among tokens listed on Binance Spot, about 89 to 94% eventually had negative returns. The average drawdown after listing was between 71 and 80%. Many coins don't die overnight, they slowly bleed out, grinding you down bit by bit.
So let's emphasize again, now is definitely not the time to chase highs. If you missed a target, there will be plenty more later, right? So listing on a major exchange feels less like value confirmation and more like a release of liquidity. You think it's good news, but others see an exit.
Because it's not price, but volume. That should tell you whether anyone still cares about a particular crypto.
The reason is simple. First, liquidity deepens after listing, so teams, early investors, and airdrop hunters can finally sell more comfortably. Second, many projects have valuations blown way too high at launch with very few users, so the price simply can't hold. Third, market money revolves around Bitcoin and Ethereum for a long time. The liquidity that new altcoins can get is already thin. Fourth, many projects can tell stories but can't build products. Once the hype fades, the price naturally drops.
So the Asteroid story is clear when you connect the dots. First, it uses a real story to move people and ignite emotions, right? Then, capital pushes the price higher. Let's look at a truth. Asteroid's holding addresses. This on-chain data doesn't lie. The top 10 holders combined control about 65% of the total supply. If you include the top 20, it's about 85% control. So by now, you should have an answer to whether you should buy. Right? Of course, I know I can't stop you because when emotions take over, they're unstoppable. But looking at such a high concentration of control, any money retail investors pour in just becomes liquidity for the big players, and the concentration ratio isn't even that high. So a truly healthy structure is when the top 10 or even 20 holders own no more than 30%. Coins like that are relatively decentralized, so if you buy in, you actually have a chance of surviving. But as for Asteroid, you've got to ask yourself, is your entry price really cheap? Can you sell it the moment it goes live? And if Musk stops talking about this story, will there even be any new buyers? Answer those 3 questions before you decide whether to buy or not.
This little guy's outfit shows he knows the crypto market even better than his dad. The Doge community is going wild with screenshots and reposts. For a moment, it's hard to tell if we're watching the news or a sales live stream. The Trump family's marketing of Doge is slowly becoming mainstream knowledge. Fans are even dropping into live streams to act all socially awkward. I lost 2 months' salary on that coin you pushed. The influencer just gave an awkward laugh, said the market is risky, and bolted. Now, the comments on X are just one big apology tour. A major vault got liquidated overnight, dragging down 3 smaller pools with it, and traders are scrambling to post on Twitter. Don't blame me, they say, as the market starts wondering if leverage is still too high. A testnet chain that no one cared about a month ago saw its market cap hit 50 million overnight, leaving investors wondering if this is a blockchain or a mystery box. The crypto world is always best at selling a dream. Whoever has the most followers calls the shots. Lately, several big accounts have been fighting for the spotlight on today's hot topics, with the rhetoric getting more intense by the second. Some joke that the drama in crypto media is even more thrilling than the project funding itself.
All right, that's our recap of the last 24 hours in crypto. We hope to do more than just report the news. We want to break down the structure and the essence so you can really see it, giving you an intuitive understanding that helps you make rational investment decisions. We want this show to help you see a bit deeper and think a bit further, which is all part of how we're adjusting our content during this bear market. If you find these changes useful and valuable, please give us a like to show your support for the show. Right here are all our membership benefits. We hope you'll join us so we can all work hard and slowly get rich together. See you tomorrow.